Hi everyone, and welcome back to my Burke, Virginia, New York City bicycle trip. This is day 7 of the trip where I finally make it to New York City. So I wake up from the Afghans family house that I slept at last night, and I'm leaving the house, and I'm thanking Nabi, the Afghan nephew that let me stay at his house. So I'm leaving, I'm gathering all my stuff, and I'm like, thank you so much, Nabi, for all your help. And then while I'm talking to Nabi in front of his house, my phone completely stops working again, and the screen goes completely black. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And the B's like, what's wrong? I was like, my phone's not working. I was like, can you take me to the mall? He's like, I don't have a car. I was like, what should I do? He's like, oh, there's a bus that goes to that mall that you were at yesterday. So I ended up taking the bus all the way back to the mall to go see Abdul to fix my phone again. Once I get to the mall, I go straight to the phone repair shop and I see Abdul there and I'm like, hey, my phone had a malfunction again. He's like, aren't you supposed to be in New York? I was like, yeah, I'm going to go today after we fix this phone. And Abdul looks at me. He's like, your phone's messed up again? I was like, yeah. I was like, it just randomly stopped working again. He's like, okay, let me take a look at it, walk around the mall for 30 minutes, and then come back. While Abdul is fixing my phone, I go to this mattress place. I try out different mattresses, and then I return to Abdul to get my phone. Abdul has my phone ready, and he's like, hey, I'm so sorry. That was my fault. I didn't fix it properly. I said, it's okay, as long as it can get me to New York tonight, because I'm very exhausted. I just want to get this trip done with. And then I take a video about how I finally got it fixed. I've had so many delays on this trip. Oh my gosh, this is my third time repairing my phone. Luckily, I didn't get charged because I went to the same place. But man, why do I keep on getting set back? Come on, wishes get this done with today, tonight, so I can finally say I completed it. Then I can relax. As I'm leaving, I run into this Walmart headquarters people, and I talk to this guy named Bear, and I'm like, hey, can I get that goodie bag? He's like, do you want to work for Walmart? I'm like, no, but I was like, I'm on a bicycle trip, and if that bag has a first aid kit, can I please have it? He's like, yeah, sure. I leave the mall and get on the bus now that I have my phone repaired, and I head back to the Afghans family house that let me stay the previous night. I also take a picture with the Walmart goodie bag that I got from Bear. And this goodie bag will come in handy once I get to New York. Once I arrive at the Afghans family home, Nabi comes out, the Afghan nephew that let me stay at his house, and he gives me my bicycle and my backpack luggage. And I say, hey, thank you so much for everything you did. I said, Tashakkud, that means thank you in Pashto. I appreciate everything. I will never forget this for the rest of my life as long as I live. He looks at me, he's like, you said it yourself. Afghans got to look out for each other. And he said, I also called the Crown Fried Chicken place to tell him you're coming to get another meal. So I go over there, I say goodbye to Nabi, and, he was a really good guy. We'll never forget him. So I get to the Crown Fried Chicken. There's different workers working from the previous night, but they gave me some free food. They said, hey, we heard about your story, and we know all your family members in Afghanistan, so this one's on us again. And I was like, whoa, wow. So we talked. I charged my phone for a little while, and then I headed out. When I leave the Crown Fried Chicken restaurant, I start bicycling my way up towards New York. At this point, I'm around 30 miles away from New York City. So I'm trying my best to get there as quickly as possible. I am so hyped that I am almost there. I'm even going to speed limit as other cars on the road. I ride my bicycle a couple miles before my cardiorespiratory system starts to get a little bit tired and decide to take a break right here. After a 10 to 20 minute break, I get back on the bike. Flow by flow. After riding another couple of miles, I decided to take another break, and I realized that my phone battery is low and I have to go charge it right away. So I get on my bike and look for a place to charge my phone. When I get to Newark, New Jersey, it's like one of the craziest places I've ever seen. I see people whooping each other with chains, fights. I see people with black eyes just walking around, and I'm like, what is this place? So while I'm looking for a place to charge my phone, I run into these 5 young African American kids, and they're like, hey, what are you doing? I was like, hey, I'm riding my bike from Burke, Virginia to New York City. I'm like, hey, do y'all know a place where I can charge my phone? And they're like, no. I was like, okay. And they're like, hey, that's a nice bike you got there. They're like, hey, can I try your bike? And I looked at them, I'm like, no. I ended up telling them a fake lie where I was like, hey, someone's stolen my bike before. When I let them try it, I don't feel comfortable with letting you all try out my bike. They're like, okay. So I start bicycling away from them. They're like, hey, actually, I got a place where you can charge a phone. And so I turn around on my bike, and I'm like, oh, yeah? Where is a place where I can charge my phone? They're like, I know this abandoned apartment complex that we can go to and just hang out and just chill for a little bit so you can rest, recover, and charge your phone. I'm like, okay, why not? So I ended up walking them to this apartment complex, and I lock up my bike in front of the apartment complex, just so no one takes the bike. And we go into the lobby. It's kind of like a busted down lobby. There's no secretary there. It's like a really worn out apartment building. And we're just all sitting there. We're talking. I'm charging my phone. I'm telling him how I met Zion Williamson. And then like two of them leave the apartment complex, and I can see from a corner of my eye like a little window area. And I'm like, oh, they're trying to steal my bike right now. They're trying to like pick it the lock, and I'm like, oh my gosh, what did I get myself into, you know? And on top of this, there's moms, dads, random people coming in, and they're selling bad substances out of the apartment complex. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what did I get myself into, you know? And I can see them trying to kind of plot on me, like, hey, let's get this guy, we'll try to steal his bike. I kind of realize that they're doing this because I've been into a lot of unfair fights against multiple people, and I'm like realizing it. I'm like, I got to get myself out of this situation. So I think quickly. I tell them, I'm like, hey, I think there were some maintenance issues with my bike. Let me go check on it for 2 minutes. I'll be right back. They're like, oh, okay. I walk out of the apartment complex. I'm acting like I'm looking at my bike, inspecting all of it, and then I unlock it really quickly, and I start walking it away. And then all 5 of them come out, and they're like, hey, where are you going? I'm like, oh, I gotta go, you know? It's like, you know, I'm on my bicycle trip to New York. They're like, no, come back over here. Like, we gotta tell you something. And I'm just like, oh, I'm good. See y'all. And, you know, it was kind of like a bad situation I put myself in where, like, they were selling bad substances out of this apartment complex building. And I just ride my bicycle away from them. I'm like, it was nice meeting y'all. After avoiding that crazy situation that I put myself into, I'm like, I just need to get to New York at this point. Like, I'm tired of this trip. Check out this artwork. I start riding over the bridge that gets you into New York. While riding my bike on the bridge, I start seeing the beautiful skyscrapers of New York City, and I get very excited. Here you see me take a video of the Empire State Building. Then I turn on some Michael Jackson and keep on bicycling. I hate doing this highway stuff. I had to run from all the way over there to here. Google Maps was taking me in the most bizarre way, so I definitely turned around for this part because I wasn't trying to die. Yeah, like no way. Like what? I don't even understand how Google does this. Like how you put me on this route. Yeah, don't ever do this. If you see something, go back the other way, like right away. I end up walking up 100 stairs to get to this point. Then I walk back down to get into Jersey City. When I enter Jersey City, my phone battery is low again, so I go to some Asian food restaurant to charge my phone. After I'm done charging my phone, I thank them, and then I head out and I go try White Castle burger for the first time ever in my life. You guys, it's my first time. I'm about to have White Castle. I don't even know like what to think because I've seen a movie about this and it was pretty funny. When I get into White Castle, I'm like, hey, this is my first time having White Castle. I just rode my bicycle from Burke, Virginia all the way over here, and they're like, whoa. Some couple overhears me and they end up buying me some White Castle burgers. So shout out that couple. Thank you so much for the food, especially with my budget being so low. That really helped. I also asked the couple, hey, how can I get into New York? They're like, oh, there's a ferry you have to go take down the street. I eat my White Castle burgers with the couple that bought me the burgers. The White Castle burgers are really like thin, small, tasted pretty good and not bad. After eating, I thank the couple that bought me the burgers and I head out to the ferry. So I ride my bicycle to the ferry and I'm waiting there and I'm like, where is this ferry, you know? And then some lady's walking past. I'm like, hey, do you know when the next ferry is going to be? She's like, it actually just ended 20 minutes ago. There's no more ferries for the rest of the day. I'm like, what? I'm like, how am I supposed to get into New York? She's like, oh, there's a tunnel you can take if you have a car. I was like, can I ride my bicycle in the tunnel? She's like, no, you will suffocate and die if you ride your bicycle in that tunnel. I was like, oh, okay. I was like, what other ways can I go? She's like, oh, there's a metro station that can get you into New York too. I was like, where is it? She's like, oh, it's down the street that way. So I ride my bicycle down the street to the metro station. All right, you guys, I missed the boat already. So there's no other way for me to get into New York but a subway. And I'm not going through the tunnel because someone said you will suffocate and die if you go through that tunnel. And I said, I don't know if I want to die today, you know? So we're just going to take this metro. Here I am getting ready to get on the metro. Once I get on the metro, I just relax my legs on my bicycle. After getting off the metro, I finally make it into New York. Then I start preparing for my New York accent. I made it, you guys. New York, New York. Once I get to New York, I'm super excited. So I decided to ride my bicycle all around New York City and enjoy the nightlife. Hey, it's the Garden, you guys. Madison Square Garden. This This is a picture of me staring at the Empire State Building for the first time super close. Right here is one of my favorite photos for this whole entire trip. You know, because I accomplished my goal and I did it and I was soaking up this feeling and I'll never forget this feeling for the rest of my life. And this moment meant the world to me because my whole entire life I've been doubted. Even before this trip, people were like, haha, Pardez, you're not going to do it. You're not going to accomplish this. You're not going to accomplish that. You know, until people saw this journey, they're like, okay, Pardez, you know, see the change of voice, change of tone. After taking this iconic photo, I ride my bicycle down to Times Square. So I ride my bicycle down to Times Square and I'm just in awe of all of it. Like the big Jumbotron. I even buy a comedy ticket from this random guy on the street. And then I also see Michael Jackson performing with Spider-Man dancing. And that was a great moment. I even take a picture with Spider-Man and he teaches me how to shoot his webs. And I tell him, thank you so much for protecting New York City.
First time ever in New York. Yeah, they already did. I already bought a comedy ticket. How much is that? $10. Yeah, it's not too bad. Yeah.
Shout out this guy for recording the dance moves I was doing. He happened to be from Burke in Fairfax, Virginia, just like me. I take a picture with Michael Jackson and I tell him I'm his biggest fan. And if y'all remember, I was listening to his music earlier on in this day. After watching Michael Jackson perform and taking a picture with him, I head over to the comedy show place. When I get there, I'm like, hey, is this the comedy show place? And there's like a big buff black security guard, like with his hands crossed. He's like, yeah, this is it. I'm like, hey, do you know if I can put my bike inside? He's like, no. He's like, you can't take this bike inside. I was like, should I just lock it up here on this post? And he was like, if you lock it there, you know how many people walk around New York City? There's like thousands and thousands of people who are walking late at night and your bike will get stolen. I'm like, dude, I was like, I just rode my bike from Burke, Virginia to New York City. I was like, what should I do? He's like, what? He's like, you know what? I'll tell you what, I'll personally watch it for you while you go watch the comedy show. You got my word. And I was like, okay, thank you. And this guy was like big, like Bobby Lashley from WWE big. Then I headed into the comedy show to watch a funny show.
I didn't even know that I needed to get back to the gym until I saw a side profile pic of me that somebody snapped and put it up on Facebook without my knowledge.
After the comedian gets done performing, I went to go take a picture with him because he reminded me of the next Adam Sandler. After I take this picture, I wait for the next comedian to come on and he had me geeking.
You see what time is it? Don't nobody hang out with their wife's sister. I know how to start.
After a good comedy show, I thank the security guard for watching my bike and I head out and explore New York City and see some luxury cars. So at this point, I'm just chilling. I'm looking around New York and it's around 3 a.m. So I'm very tired. So I'm like, where am I going to set up my hammock? And I'm thinking, I was like, let me go check out Central Park to see if I can set up my hammock somewhere there. When I get to Central Park, there's a sign that says dismount off your bike, and I completely ignore it. And that was not a good idea, and here's why. Luckily, this time I did have a first aid kit to fix this boo-boo. Remember earlier on in this day, I approached a guy who worked for Walmart named Bear, and I asked him for that Walmart goodie bag with the first aid kit inside. And that really helped out fixing this wound. So shout out Bear for that.
Special shout out to Bear for giving me this bag.
This was basically a video of me shouting out Jesse and Bear, people who gave me some stuff along my way in my trip, especially with no money left on this trip. Like, I really appreciated those guys. Like, I'll never forget them. While I'm in Central Park, I just sit down on a bench and, you know, I just, man, I don't want to do it right now, but I start tearing up because so many people helped me along this journey. Like, I couldn't have done it without them. And that meant a lot to me for people to believe in me, to get to Burke, Virginia to New York City on my bicycle, you know. oh, man, you know, I really cried on that bench of happiness. Like, thank you for everyone that helped me. You know, thank God. Thank you everyone that helped me out through my journey. While I was in Central Park, I didn't really find a really good spot, but I saw one spot that might be a backup spot. So when I sleep in my hammock, I go everywhere and I look for many different spots. I'm like, oh, that's a good spot. That'll be my emergency spot. But it was very, very hard to find a place to set up your hammock in the city. Since I couldn't find anywhere else to set up my hammock, I ended up going back to Central Park for my emergency spot, setting up my hammock next to a merry-go-round. And that's the end of day 7. And shout out Rick Ross, the boss. Thank you all so much for watching my day 7 video, and get ready for day 8 where I explore New York City. Thank you. See you soon.